Good morning, everyone. How are you, dear ones? It's a pleasure to spend time with you as much as I can. I'm real proud of you guys and how you're tackling your health issues. It's just incredible when you take a look at wasn't that long ago that it was so difficult to bring out the message of health. Can you believe that? I mean, when you look at truth, and truth is so hard to expose itself in a world so controlled by the negative forces, it's amazing. So it's one of those things, and to see all of you looking at health, eating raw, it's so great. And so I know a lot of you are struggling hard with your health issues, and all I can tell you is try to have some patience. When the body's too acidic, it's real hard to deal with these higher levels of detox, and that's okay. Mainly, you're seeing so much cancer out there and so many chronic and degenerative problems that this level is warranted at this time. We're also in such a genetic slumber of the cell that the genetic rebuilding of the cell is essential to the continuation of the Homo sapiens species. And those mothers of you that are doing your baby's raw foods are in a tremendous process of regenerating the human cell. And this is real important. Whether medical doctors get with this or not, who cares? It is really vital that humans understand their condition, what brought them here, and how to unwind this, because now we're starting to affect all the animals' health. And we're breaking down the planet. And so, planets often detox themselves, and so we must be careful. But anyway, I want to go on and try to catch up with some of these. I'm so glad we have a no-show this morning, and so I'll be able to go through a lot of these, I hope. So let's start here and go through these. I haven't had a chance to pre-go through these, so that's why it's pretty raw as you see it here. I just don't have the time anymore to go through them and then pick out those ones. This is Alicia West, and how do we and I think we talked about this yesterday on a video, is how do we balance out this fruit diet for mineral needs? And again, I think our assumption that the body needs all these minerals, and I was going into the fact that minerals are probably the least thing the body needs. And the chemistry in foods are so in depth. And we're just now discovering the chemistry in a lot of these herbs. And so this isn't something we've known. Chemistry is a forever growing science of understanding and naming chemistry compounds that we find. And, this is this whole process of discovery. That's okay if we're a scientific level. But a scientific level isn't always accurate, and the problem I think we have is we associate science with truth, and science is more theories and postulates and assumptions and things like this. Some things we know, no question, but again, observation of that which is often tainted by a conditioned mind, and this is the problem of why we teach getting beyond the mind. So you can enjoy your life from a much higher level instead of being hooked by the nose by the mind. The mind is a hook that controls you and keeps you from feeling and being free in the moment. It's our tool to create, no question. And many souls have just come here on this planet for the first time. They're going to be in a creative stance and using them okay. But a lot of you guys are not young souls. A lot of you guys are much older souls awakening to consciousness and yourselves. And your time on these lower levels are limited. So it's the time for you to grow into your consciousness as much as you can and let all this stuff you've created emotionally and mentally work itself off. Don't create anything. Spend some time not creating. Get out of this whole material creation, I gotta have, I want, I need, all of these things. And just live in the present moment. And believe it or not, by doing that, those will be supplied. It's interesting when you step back that all the forces of life come in and help you and work with you. That's the beauty of God. There's so many spiritual entities out there working with people and humans and all levels of creatures from all dimensions. We have to get out of this little earthly little rock spinning through space and that sort of thing. Oh, life is so much bigger. So much bigger. But, I'm not opposed to green drinks. A couple a day, no problem. If you're trying to cram chemistry down you, I think you rethink that and just relax. It's really not how much chemistry you get in and all that. Remember yesterday we were talking about it is digestion, it is absorption, it is utilization. You'd be surprised what little amount of chemistry you need to sustain yourself in the cells once you remove the obstructions and the resistance to the flow of energy. Then energy invades and uplifts all things, including cells. And that's just from the consciousness of the individual. That's before any food or external sources of energy are supplied. Remember, a cell has an internal source of energy as well, beyond the physical. So I don't really do heavy minerals. I think it weighs the body down. I think we're more, of a higher being where we tend to pick higher. We don't stoop over lower back problems, Okay, Doctor, thanks for that, Alicia. This is Fruit Fairy. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Dr. Morris, I'm on a 27-day. Oh, yeah, I finally saw sediment. I saw this yesterday. Excellent job. I wish I knew more about that. I think you guys are definitely going to take this much deeper than me, and you're going to do better than me. I've fallen off the wagon many times. Life takes yours in many directions, and it'll take you in many directions. Don't get upset. You have to, at this level, it isn't all peaches and cream. It's you as soon as you get a high, something's going to come around and try to give you a low. And so that's why I'm saying if you get away from the mind and the emotions, no matter how the negative forces or how life hits you, talk to the hand, the face isn't listening. In other words, you're not going to be affected. If you don't care about something, you're not affected. If you care, you're caught, you're trapped. So that's the problem. That's why divine love is essential. You love all things because you see all things as God in expression. But you don't have to like all things. And when you try to like something you're not, we have to get away from this antagonism of ourselves and let things flow. And health is so much easier to achieve then. That's why you have to, when you start on this health journey, it is good to just stop by the wayside and dump all your baggage and go bare naked into the woods or into the heavens, because you can't take anything with you anyway. You're only going to take yourself as you came. So life is a lot easier and survival from the negative forces if you don't play with them so much. This is a repost. Vertical sleep. Oh, that's not good. Good name, but that could mean a lot of things. We have a lot of people that have to sleep almost vertical. Hi, Dr. Morris. What does the lymphatic constipation and some blue eyes say? I read this yesterday about the brown and the blue eyes. Some of these I probably already got yesterday. Yes, I did. Always in the now. Hope your dog is doing better there. These are some, oh good, I did some of these yesterday. Oh wow, I'm doing good already here. Well, let me see, I don't know quite how to pronounce your name there. Thanks so much for that, thank you. I'm 22 and this is uneven gradient. I'm 22 and would still be lost fumbling around the medical community had it been, thanks, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're pulling yourself out of that. Boy, it does my heart good to hear from people like yourself there and pulling yourself out of that medical stupidity. I mean, man's got to, even economically. Look, it's slamming us economically. I mean, this is that whole modality is responsible for a huge part of man's suffering on all levels. People have lost their homes, they have lost their finances, and hadn't got a remedy out of that. That's the problem. I'm sorry to get 10-day juice fast with stomach and bowel, parasite, kidney. Oh man, cool. Any other advice for healing ulceration? Healing ulcerations, again, a lot of these ulcerations can come from the inside out. Those are the worst kind because that's interstitial lymphatic constipation, burning from the interstitial areas to the outside. Those kind of burns take a lot longer to remedy because obviously you've got to move the lymph inside, dressing causative factors always. So moving lymph is essential to cure internal ulcerations where it's a burn from the inside. And again, those kind of burns lead to nothing good but cancer if you don't correct this. And this is, again, interstitial lymphatic constipation. If it's an ulcerated area from a burn like hydrochloric acid or something, those are much easier to heal up. And you can use like the Bones formula, which is the comfreys and the horsetails. Those are very healing. Slippery elm, very healing. We have a poor chap in London, poor guy, and you guys know him, fighting extreme acid interstitial lymphatic constipation, and he can't get remedy real quick, and I feel for this. This is a Ouija board, and I feel really sorry for him, but we've got to find a way. He can't even hardly do anything. Again, he was doing fruit juices and probably a little strong, but I've had him on the slippery elm, marshmallow, and he's still struggling with a lot of pain and discomfort. So he's into a fast, and I think that you almost have to get to these fasting states because I think that's just what God's doing to you. It's just shutting you down from eating completely and letting the body heal itself. With that said, hard to do that when you're interstitially lymphatically constipated because even fasting sometimes, doesn't remedy that. And so it takes a while. So Ouija bird, you hang in there, my friend, because you'll get this, and you just have to, sometimes in a case like this, sometimes, and I talked about this yesterday, you can't handle fruit or something, you have to back up and go real slow. Sometimes you get cooked vegetables and drink the broth. I mean, I'm telling you, we got people that are extreme, and we have to be real careful how we work them because they're in so much pain and discomfort, and so we have to be careful how we work them. We work them slowly. At the same time, we use the herbs the best we can, try to get everybody moving with that side of it. At the same time, kind of letting detox move at its own rhythm. Using castor oil over any place you can that's full of pain, or coconut oil, anything like that, to use as an antacid, anti-inflammatory in other words, things like that. Just have to use anything that we can to help someone in that type of issue. Because it takes a while to get in interstitially, and this is man's problem. No one's talked about this, and medical doctors have done nothing but suppress the lymph system, and I think that they just haven't understood that expectoration is the key, not suppression. You can't control the functions of the body. You have to expectorate that which is impacting the functions of the body, which is going to always be your lymphatic system. So, hang in there. I don't know what I can tell you. Hang in there. You got all of us on our sides. Don't forget the aloe plants, and keep working with those very painful ulcerated situations. But comfrey and the golden seal, all these are very strong healers of tissue, of ulcerated tissue, along with slippery elm, marshmallow, things like that. They used to claim cayenne pepper is a healer of ulcerations. There's other ones that's not so impactful, though. There's other ones that's not so impactful, though. Let's see, I posted recently my GI tract is backed up with possible ulceration. Again, the concern would be inside out, burning outward, so that's problematic. Obviously, going down with the stomach and bowel and everything, slippery elm, marshmallow, very healing, but also a little pulling. That's why the plantain. And trying to pull at the same time gives some gentle, soothing effects with the marshmallow and the slippery elm, but have a little drawing effect because we have to deal with the cause. No matter what, you have to deal with the cause. If you keep trying to treat the symptom even this way, you just will never be successful. You've just got to plow through it no matter what it takes to get this lymph moving, and this is very problematic. especially those with the sulfur. And so one lad was telling me he's on this compound. I was talking about it yesterday, and I looked it up, and it's got ethanol in it. The biggest part of the formula is simple: asparagus extract. And yeah, you could get some asparagus extract, and that would be okay. But taking any supplement with ethanol, that would something medical doctors give. That wouldn't be in the plan. I'm starting, and the only way you're going to find out, because your sulfur is always orange, so you can tell by using asparagus extract if you have the sulfur ring and all that. If you would start seeing it coming out, then I would be very impressed. I'm going to start playing with that myself and see, but without the ethanol. Let me see. Any other advice for healing ulcerations? Just everything we're talking about. The marshmallows, the slippery elms, the comfreys, and the horsetails and things like that. At the same time, move lymph. Very important to move the lymphatic system, the cause of the problems. Because 9 times out of 10 down in the colon and stuff, this isn't from hydrochloric acid. This burn is probably interstitial lymphatic constipation burn, and that's not a fun burn. Just wanted to tell you I love your detox book. Oh, I appreciate that. Raw Crave, thank you. You know, I need to get in there and rewrite. There's nothing to rewrite too much. I want to bring a little more about distilled water. I kind of like to get more mountain water in there, talk about that a little bit. A few little things the publisher is trying to get me to rewrite or add a little to it so he can put it in a second edition. And it's like, well, I like it how it is. I don't have time. You know, it's like, oh my God, I got so many books sitting there, but this is how I feel my books are being written, is through you guys and this YouTube. It's a good way. It's a good way to learn, in my opinion. And after I get to a certain point with these questions, I'm going to get more involved with quizzing and getting you guys more up to speed even more, and there's a certain point where most of you are getting it. And then it's just getting out there and working with others, articulating what you know in the head through the mouth. And that's a big problem. I said this in class, and I've said this before, is that, you know, start practicing on the animals or the trees. Start talking with them. They'll listen to you. And just start talking with them. And talking with them about health and things. And say, I'm gonna use you as a human now. Now listen, this is what and start talking with them and articulate, because the mind is so massive. And the physical body is so small that you see so much more than what you can funnel down and get out through the mouth. So you get to play with that. Learn how to connect yourself to when you start talking, it's flowing from the high all the way through you. You're not thinking when you're talking because you already know the subject matter. Why would you have to think about it? You just let it flow. You know what you want to say, and start getting used to operating from your higher self soul. And that the mind will just be open for you to use, and you won't even have to consciously use it. I appreciate that. I really do. I look forward to watching your videos. Thanks so much for your comment, Raw Crave. I appreciate it. We like support, of course, and everybody does. That's why I'm always going to support you guys. And I appreciate the same, because we must work as a team. This world, one isn't enough. We must be a team. If we're going to conquer or at least bring the light in a greater stance here, then we have to be more of us and stand strong and demand truth and honesty and integrity out of the people we hire to oversee us, not to control us, not to pass laws that doesn't allow us to have freedom, but and this is every country, because I'm looking at a lot of these countries now, and they're trying to pass laws that are trying to suppress your rights. Be real careful, because right now it's getting worse. And even in Canada now, we've got the medical doctors going after homeopathy. Oh my God. I mean, this is the field they need to take on and take on themselves. Again, when you allow a narcissistic criminal to keep going, this is what you're getting. And they've gotten so blatant that your poor moms, your kids are not in your hands at all. This is a sad thing, is we don't have jurisdiction over our children. You know, you raise them, you pay all the money, you raise them, you love them, you spend all the years with them, but States have jurisdiction over them. I don't know how it is in all the different countries, but this is from I Am Stormy Winters. Ooh, stormy winters. Ugh, man. Blue skies, white sand beaches, and beautiful azure water. Thank you for your informative videos. Thanks for tuning in here, my friend. I wish I had found you a year ago. Yeah, I know. You know, and I would have loved to have done these 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, Dan had been talking to me a couple of years about them, you know, and I'm not really, you know, I'm an old country guy. I'm really like simplicity. I'm not really, you know, a real internet person, but I love it because hard for these criminals like the IRS and the World Bank to hide what they're doing. Truth is out there, and I'm not going to stop it now. They might try to jail us and everything, but, you know, in the end, the karma wouldn't be worth it for them. I wish I had, let's see, I don't have a good genetic imprint. You know, I don't either. And that's kind of sad, but those of us that have weaker genetic imprints, we've got to take care of yourself. You can't go way off the deep end. When you find raw and you balance out, if you balance out with some cooked and things, okay, but don't go too far off the deep end. Those people like me with poor genetic imprints, our bodies don't like the deep end. Our bodies like a good amount of raw foods and everything else. So those with weaker genetic imprints have to stay pretty high raw in their lives, which you should anyway. I stay pretty high raw. My dad is a full-blown diabetic and has had open heart bypass surgery, kidney transplant. Look at here. See how this is connected? Kidney transplants, gallbladder removed. I mean, this poor chap his dad's had all kinds of problems. Well, here we go. Diabetes, adrenal glands. Now, if it's type 1, it could be the neurological diabetes, which could be the adrenals or pituitary, obviously. Or it could be, you know, the islets and the pancreas. But it would always be the lymphatic system that's breaking anything down. Here's the proof. Guy lost his kidneys already. That's what created all the heart attacks and diabetes in the first place. And the gallbladder was the kidneys. The problem's always the kidneys. And look, kidney transplant. I have been told I am type 2 diabetic. Okay, so here the son is going right down the path of the dad. This is the adrenal glands sitting on top of what? Yep, that's right, the kidneys. And so this is problematic, walking down that same road, and it says, Dad's had him out, son. Listen, my friend, to get off of all protein yesterday and get on a raw food diet, which I suppose you are, but definitely get something into those adrenal glands. You're going to have a, you know, down the hill on the adrenals, you know, genetically speaking. So yeah, you have to strengthen those and get those cleaned up. I was having elevated pancreas enzymes, which started a year ago. Well, see, see here again, going back to a tree. Here's the top of a tree. Here's the trunk, the embryonic trunk, the embryonic tail, the trunk, and then you have your branches, liver, pancreas. So again, your dad lost his gallbladder, but here you go, you're having pancreatitis to a certain extent. So again, lymph does this. Lymph is what's breaking it down. So year one, you're definitely going to be interstitially, lymphatically constipated. You're going to have some malabsorption issues going on. You got the lymph system in the pancreas is backed up, and my guess it's backed up in the liver as well, my friend. So really want to go after this. Abdominal pain along with right and left rib pain, lower back, there we go, see? There's your kidneys, the lower back, you're walking down that road to your dad. The problem is you're going to walk down the same road 10, 20 years sooner than he did. So what I like about you, Stormy Winters, is you're starting to learn, grow, grab a hold of this, my friend. You'll pull yourself back out of this. I see where you're talking about. Go after those kidneys. Stay away from all protein of every kind, nuts, everything else. Keep those kidneys really nice, and no abrasive acidic chemistry for them right now. And just let them heal up and go after that. My gallbladder was removed. Oh. So his gallbladder was removed a year ago, so he's walking right down Daddy. Now I wish I had waited. I was at the Mayo Clinic. Oh yeah, the lovely Mayo Clinic. I love the Mayo Clinic, don't you? I had a lady fly in here from London. And she probably had 30, 40 tumors on both legs, popped out all around both legs. And she flew in from London, and I told her, asked her if she still drinks milk, and she said, well, of course. And I said, well, the Mayo Clinic didn't tell you not to drink milk with those tumors? And she said, no. And I said, you know, I'm just curious. I said, what does the Mayo Clinic have you doing about all these tumors on your legs? She says, well, I've been coming to the Mayo Clinic over here in Florida for quite some time now, probably 7 or 8 years, and they have me wrapping my legs in cellophane. Now, the Mayo certainly has a lot of physicians that are the best of the best of the best, right? Cellophane, interesting. It took me about 3 months, and I had them all gone, but one little one still kind of left that she, it was easy to finish that one up. Boy, was she pissed off. She was really mad, and not at me. She had spent tens of thousands of dollars at the Mayo Clinic with no change, and we had them all gone in 3 months. That's the problem, and that's the problem with what's out there. So this is the problem with health care. It isn't health care. So, but it's okay, get your liver healthy. That's just what I'm saying. Your liver's involved here too. The pancreas, this is your lymph system, bro. Really got a honk on it because you don't want to lose your kidneys. Tell me what your creatinine is. Be sure you watch that and go right after your kidneys. Easy. They did an MRCP and an EUS along with a PCP to TP do it. No, I'm just sorry, I got carried away there. Results came back negative. They gave me nortriptyline or something for nerve pain, but all it does is mask my symptoms. Yeah, can you help with a protocol? I'm worried about my 13-year-old son. Oh, man, you're getting smart, Stormy Winters. You're getting really smart. Absolutely, you should be worried about your 13-year-old son. Well, now's the time. Not yes, right now is the time for you guys, your whole family, to get yourselves back on track here, or get on track in the first place, and go after this. You definitely want to do, if it was me, I'd be doing a stomach and bowel, whatever I needed to move my bowels at least once or twice a day. 2, I would do lymphatic 1 capsules. I would be doing three times a day. Start pulling on that bowel wall, pulling on the liver and everything. I'd probably do the liver capsules maybe 2-3 times a day. You can go to save money. You could do the liver formula for a bottle, and then do the pancreatic formula for a bottle, and then the liver formula. But a lot of the liver herbs, quite truthfully, go over to the pancreas and help that. So you could just even stay with the liver and the gallbladder formulas. It's just the lymph system anyway. Keep that in mind, and that's what you're after. I would definitely do a liquid. I would start out with lymphatic 4, maybe move to lymph node 2 liquid after about a month or so. Definitely I would do kidney number 1 capsules, and I would do kidney number 2 a liquid. Or do both liquids, I don't care, but go after those kidneys very aggressively. I think in your case I would do a adrenals 160, like an adrenal formula, get my adrenals perked up there. And work in that way. Start pulling that lymph system out. Very, very important. Use the GI broom if you can. Start cleaning yourself up. You gotta clean and strengthen. Clean and strengthen. That's our focus. Clean and strengthen. Clean and strengthen. That's what we do. We clean the body out and we strengthen the cells that comprise it. There's nothing any more simpler than that. All these naturopathic schools, all these medical schools, we clean and strengthen the human body. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. Clean and strengthen the human body. We're not going to destroy the human body anymore. We're going to clean and strengthen it. That should be the motto of all universities. Clean and strengthen yourself, mentally, emotionally, and physically. How simple. You can mix simplicity with intellectualism. Did I say that? Divine Kitchen. Ha! That would be a fruit orchard down in the tropics somewhere, or over at Yas in Thailand. Probably a big fruit market. That would be the Divine Kitchen. on the physical side. On the spiritual side, God is the divine kitchen. Hi, Doc, can I do a slow detox? Absolutely, you can do a slow detox. Absolutely. Just changing your lifestyle to a predominant, to 70-80% raw and 20 to 30% cooked is definitely a good way to start entering this for a lot of people that are not in a stat or emergency need. If you're not in pain, you don't have tumors, you don't have all these issues, why, absolutely. And sometimes you're so bad you have to start a little slower. The things that always avoid dead animals, always avoid proteins, your grains, your beans, your nuts. Get rid of those worthless, crappy foods. They're not even, get rid of those. We can argue about the health of grains till hell freezes over, and it won't change. They're fattening. They create acidosis. Look at what happens to a horse who eats too many grains. He founders. All right, you can't do it. So your grains, beans, these are dormant foods. If you sprout them, okay. But get rid of these kind of foods. Dairy, holy God, let all the dairymen drink the dairy and everybody else get a run away from this stuff. They can't prove in a court of law where it's healthy for you at all. Matter of fact, let it be known what the chemistry of pasteurized milk really is. So this is part of the problem. Those are the things you have to avoid. If you're going to at least detox a little, you've got to stay with fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. Whether you steam the vegetables or not, okay. But you got to stay in those perimeters, knowing that even the vegetables isn't aligned with your physiology, but okay. Break down the cellulose a little bit, juice extract. I'm following up a previous message I sent. I now have 3 diseases following me around. Oh, I didn't think there was any such thing as diseases. So I don't think they're following you around, dear. I know you're laughing. I have to laugh too. That was pretty good. I like you guys because you're so funny. But this is true, though. You know, ulcerative colitis. Again, we're going back to the other chapter we talked about earlier here, interstitial lymphatic constipation. You got to get this out of you so you don't have that thing going on. Scleroderma. Oh, I don't think so. I would not go slow with detox. If scleroderma is following you around, run! And Hashimoto's, hypothyroid. I've never failed with a scleroderma case, but you don't even want to go there. No way in holy you know what. That is one of the worst conditions one could ever deal with. So, a high acid condition that just trips the body, it's just not good. And I've talked about scleroderma before, how it just everything becomes fibroids. Chokes you up till you choke to death. Your lung, everything literally becomes hardened as a rock. High level of acidosis. Hashimoto's part of it. So, what are we going to do? I wouldn't do a slow detox. Not with scleroderma. Ulcerative colitis, you don't want that to turn into cancer. And Hashimoto's, okay, big deal. That's easy to fix. But the scleroderma, you want to tear this apart and get out of this. Cut that baby following you, or shoot them or something. I don't know, but you don't want those to follow you around, dear. The last 4 weeks saw my body collapse on me. Oh, I got so cold. One of my fingers got infected, my liver. You see how toxic you are? You have to be very toxic to have scleroderma. A very acidic condition where again, the body's becoming like a rock. Not good. And you're seeing this all through you. Your finger got infected. Infection, acidosis. My liver all but packed in and digested stopped completely. Oh my God, how about the pancreas? My wife thought I was going to die. Oh my friend, what is going on here? I saw an emergency Chinese doc and he is going to help me short term. Well, you get up on all raw, first of all raw. Don't play around, don't slow detox. Just a word from the wise. Get your butt in gear, bro, because scleroderma, you don't want to play around. I'm dead serious with that one. I couldn't even be more serious. You do not mess around. You get your butt cleaned up here. Get yourself on 100% raw and move to the fruits, berries, and melons and move those limps, because you've got some problems. Some serious issues you got to correct. Let me see. And also I have had some cooked food to get my body warmed up. Well, this is where, for those that don't like this, close your ears, but this is where the thyroid glandulars are really going to be important. We don't even know if a pituitary is involved. Doesn't matter. Get on a very strong thyroid glandular and get that thyroid up so it gets you warmed up there. You might even have to, spend a little vacation down in the tropics and get yourself acclimated to a higher level of healing and warm up a bit. And warmed up here, the UK and raw food and fruit, I know it is. I know it. Humans moved into areas that made it difficult on them, no question. That's why they went down the road they did. I realize that for a thin, bony guy. Now here's another thin, bony guy and who has imbalance and weaknesses. Well, bro, we're going to help you now and get your health back. Here's a case. He's thin. Well, he's got ulcerative colitis. So what does that tell you? Interstitial lymphatic constipation, huh? Absolutely. And so you really got some work ahead of you, my friend. Very important that you don't slow detox. Your life is very serious here. This is coming from my heart, okay? Very serious. You want to get control of this, my friend. Right now, I just cannot cope with all raw or all fruit. Well, you got to try. Whether you get to the tropics, take a vacation, whatever you got to do, my friend. Lock yourself in the house, turn up the heater, and get some sun lamps. I don't know. Someone was asking me to define why tanning beds and stuff are bad for you. Now good information's coming out. I don't know what to say about it. And it wasn't, I didn't say magnetism. It's about isolated frequencies of magnetism, about magnetics. It's isolating full spectrum lighting. And when you isolate chemistry or isolate magnetic energy, it has a tendency to have a tail on it, whips and kicks your butt, because everything works synergistically in chemistry and in energy. So everything is on itself. And I gave the example of arsenic. Arsenic is in the family of nutrients, but it's a distant cousin. You don't bring arsenic and treat it like a brother, because that brother will kill you. So the same thing with magnetics. They're all in ratios. I don't have a great understanding of that by any stretch of the imagination. But it is obviously when the news comes out and says that these are cancer causing, that is a little freaky. And I have seen what the infrared light does to you by itself. So you just got to be real careful about playing at this. You have a problem, go out into Mr. Sun. You used to do the best you can. Can I do your herbs and glandulars and do a slower detox? Yes, you can. At least do that. And then kick that detox up as our weather's getting warmer. But you can't afford to wait, my friend. I know London, I know the UK, and I got tons of clients there. Have had for years, and I know what you guys deal with there. 3 years serious raw in this cold and damp. Yeah, I know it. It's just, I don't know what to tell you there. Tough country to detox in. I know you are. So do your best, my friend. If not, I need my fingers back for my guitar. Well, hell, you're one of the bros. You got to get move. Go somewhere where it's warm or something. That's what I'm saying. Your health is the most important thing right now that I see in your life, besides the woman. But your health, and you really want to get it back, my friend. This is spooky. Get rid of that scleroderma, get rid of that ulcerative colitis, pop up that thyroid, you'll be in good shape. So, yeah, get on a good herbal detox program, tear it up as much as you can, get that thyroid up so it'll warm you up. You're sitting there on a cold thyroid, it'll warm you up, you'll feel better. Oh, this is a Latin lady. This is a little Latin lady, Tina from Ontario. I haven't heard from you in a while, Tina. Thank you, Dr. Morris. Thank you, Tina. I would love your advice on people who think this approach is just too simple. I don't know. I don't know. It's time we turn to simplicity and joy and happiness, don't you think? I think we have a big job on our hands. The academic line is going nuts. The healthcare systems are going nuts. The governments have already went nuts. All these things. And you know what? It's that these souls that are involved are not strong souls. They fall to the powers of the negative side. And not that it's negative in the sense, but, you know, if you had to label it with the mind, yeah, it just is what it is. But in that, of course, is all the greed and the egotism and all the things that are involved on that side. So this world offers us a chance to play with those and to learn to be strong beings in the world of creation. Those people on this planet just are bounced around like leaves falling from a tree in the fall. People don't have their own self-motivation anymore. It's like people are walking around like zombies, you know. That's just what the government wants. Everybody's that drugs aren't legal. You know, just a good way to control people. For example, my husband always says to me, detox is always your answer to everything. And it's my answer too, Tina, so I'm standing right beside you facing your husband and saying, why is it always the answer? And that's one of my questions to you guys. Why is detoxification always the answer? I need your answers to that. Why is it always the answer? No matter what you come up with, why is detoxification always the answer? Well, to answer that little clue, what is detoxification? And maybe your husband needs to get that. So in a sense, I'm sure he's tired of hearing it. But it is the golden key that unlocks the door of Wellville. I can only tell you. No, what you throw at me, I can show you where cleaning acids out of the human body and rebuilding the cells that comprise it is always the answer to wellness. Because that's all that's in there. I say that to him because he loves to sleep, gets vertigo, hard to gain weight, has stiff neck, and one finger locks, and he just lacks vitality. And he doesn't believe in detox, Tina? I mean, this is just what he's got to do. Look at this. Okay, he loves to sleep. All right, so he's got a pineal gland maybe that's exhausted, maybe adrenals and thyroids that are down. You know, when your thyroid's down, you just want to sleep all the time. Same with the adrenals, no energy. He gets vertigo, so his lymph system's backed up in his head, and he's got inflammation in the cerebellum. And if he doesn't get rid of that, it isn't all good because that's the doorway to MS. Believe it or not. And so that's not good. He does, and he's probably a young man because you look like a fairly young woman. I mean, in the context of that. Hard to gain weight, so he probably is malabsorbed. Same thing that's running up his spine and neck, causing vertigo, is causing him to not absorb his food. But how would you correct that? I guess from his point of view, you could remove your bowels. His finger locks, so you got swelling and acidosis there, stiff neck. Of course you've got a stiff neck. Vertigo comes from the cerebellum. That's all part of the neck area, and you're not draining the lymph down, so he's interstitially lymphatically constipated. He's malabsorbed from that, so he's thin and can't gain weight, but the same malabsorption causes stiff necks and vertigo problems. But if you don't detox, there's no remedy for him. That's the problem with you. Mr. Husband, I'm talking to you. If you don't detox, there's no remedy out of this. That's the problem. Your wife knows exactly the answer to help you. You just have to love her and trust her. What would be the best thing to tell him when they ask me what to do? Love and trust you, Tina. Your husband needs to love and trust you and get with it. Because if he doesn't detox, there's no remedy, and the thing is, he'll lose his C-spine. He'll start getting glaucoma, which is pressure behind the eyes, lymph pressure, which isn't good because it's an acid pressure, breeds on the cataracts, which is cholesterol plaquing. And then, honey, where did I park the car? Oh, Tina, are you my wife or are you my mama? It's just the bottom line is, for your husband, he needs to get out of this antagonistic, if he is toward you, and realize that you're learning a lot of truth and that you have the answers to help him with all this, because these are the beginnings of serious problems. from brain cancers to brain lesions to MS. He's got all the setup here, and it's just gotta address that now, because it's kind of bad down the road when he goes, honey, I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't listening. Thanks, Tina from Ontario. Organic Superman, hey, what's the pH of distilled water? I don't know, it's acidic. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. Where are you going to be? Somewhere in the 6s or so? 5s? I don't know, I forget what it is. Well, it must be very acidic, because it's not changing my... Just a joke. I love this picture. Bwaustin, Tex. Yeah, I love that picture. I was a Jesus freak for a lot of years. Hey, Doc, have the Tea Party adopted your Heal All Tea? It needs to. As a new slogan and logo. Heal the government and heal the people at the same time. You need to run for president yourself. That's a good slogan. This Tea Party, you know, it's foundering. It needs to get its butt. Ron Paul, you're a failure. You need to grab your cojones in your hand and stand up like a man. You're done. You're old. You're done. Now, you need to tell the people the truth and start getting, maybe move to the independent side and start telling people the truth about the IRS. That's a good one to start waking up the government. Now they're going to figure out, where are they going to get the money? Where are they going to get the money now for all the spending they want to spend, because they're misapplying the tax laws. They're stealing from the American people. And we're coming hard after you for it. That's all I can tell you. My team and a lot of teams are coming after you for it. So I would be going the other way and start figuring out how you're going to deal with tens of thousands of people that know the truth. Actually, millions in this country now know the truth. Matthew Berube, B-E-R-U-B-E. Hi, Dr. Morris. Can you address... oh, I did that before. Gynecomastia. I've got it a little bit here. Big-chested, barrel-chested man. You know, absolutely. And we went. I did address that. That's just stilbestrol in the adrenal glands. Get your adrenal glands in a state of health. Even though my chest went down considerably when I was 100%, when I was fruitarian. And we might even have a little more estrogen too, besides stilbestrol. But makes you a little more in touch with the feminine side, which I prefer. All these acids around here. Gin Freedom. Yeah. Oral thrush from, oh yeah, I already talked to you about this one here. Has known about you through David Donovan, so thanks, I appreciate it. Make sure I address this. I'm a 33-year-old accountant residing in Missouri. Vegetarian for 15 years. Pretty good. Last year I had a wisdom tooth removed that resulted in a breach of my... Oh yeah, I read this before. Now, again, here's Tina's husband. Detox, detox, detox. No question about that. I can't believe they broke her. But I have the same thing. My sinus bone here is so thin. They want to rebuild this and stuff. And it's like, well... You know, moving lymph is a trip, you'd think, after all these years, but I haven't been actively digging deep into my body for years, and most people are not going to. Life is what it is, you know, you got to make it is. Last year, let me see here, gosh, she's had surgeries. I read this to you all before here. Tax season, she's a tax accountant. That's a problem right there. Extremely difficult swallowing. You've got so much swelling here in the esophagus and stuff. Again, going back to interstitial lymphatic constipation, dear one, you got to move your lymph and get real aggressive moving lymph. And just, you got to drain the trunk. You got to drain this GI tract, because the esophagus going to the stomach, going to the small and large bowels. You got to clean them. They're just a bunch of cells and 2 floods. So you got to get in there and clean all the interstitial area out. Hi. Hello there.
How come you listen?
You want to say hi? You just come in to sit and listen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, come and say hi to everyone here.
Hi there.
This is mother-in-law. Down from Texas, or I should say over from Texas.
Over from Texas.
Over
be
from
fine,
Texas.
yes.
That'd be good.
Tell them how old I am and how long I've been
Oh,
on
yeah. 80 years old. She's doing a high level of raw fruits and vegetables, keeping herself fit. She's working on her kidneys, a little high blood pressure, but that's coming out of her real nice. And so she's doing real well, staying fit at 80 years old. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, good.
Okay, bye.
Well, so what I'm doing, they send me a lot of questions here, and so I answer them over the YouTube here. So, so relax for a minute, and I'll go through some of these questions with you. Again, this lady, I had addressed her before in terms of the having the swelling of the esophagus here, the sinus surgery, and the invasion of the sinus cavity there. I hope that's all corrected itself. Again, check your parathyroid. You want to rebuild the bony structure here. Again, moving lymph, getting sure the parathyroid is up. You could use the Bones formula there. She's again an accountant here. Let me see what else here. Previously never went to the doctor except for annual blood work. Let me see here. Okay, she got to choking on her own saliva. Again, this kind of, and they call it, have its Barrett's esophagus. But again, this is interstitial lymphatic constipation. Jennifer, love to you. I did talk to you about this before. But the same type of thing in the young man before, where he's thin, he's not absorbing his nutrition properly. This is interstitial lymphatic constipation. This is the interstitial fluid. This is the lymph side of that, backed up, now filtering through the kidneys. So you want to get your kidneys filtering and get this lymph cleaned out of this trunk of this tree, because nothing good comes out of this swollen esophagus. It'll not only choke you, but you run the risk of popping tumors up here and then cancer, voice box, all these things like this. So you really want to get a hold of this and address this now and to get that out of you. But it's the same thing for everyone we've read this morning. Must be, how that all works out kind of interestingly. It's a God thing. But we must address these lymphatic issues. We're faced with them. And Tina in Ontario, this is just what your husband needs to learn this. This is why detoxification is always the golden key. Because anytime you have a swelling, you have pain, you have inflammation, this is all acidosis. And this is all result of not the blood, but of the lymph. This is why I was telling you about the case of the lady with all the tumors on her legs from London. They're dressing her blood, putting her legs with cellophane. This is the Mayo Clinic. The best of the best. Not really the best of the best, because the best of the best doesn't know too much more than the last of the last when it comes to allopathy. That's why you have to take your health in your own hands. Understand what the gig is here and how to find yourself remedy. You guys a lot of you have been suffering for years, and you don't have to suffer anymore. It's easy to get this stuff cleaned up. I say easy, but set in for a year when you're going with heavy interstitial lymphatic constipation. It could take you 6 months to a year. So what? What else have you got to do with your life? And you've suffered enough. So we're here to help all of you guys that's suffering. I love this lady's name, Miss Juicy Kisses. I'm telling you, some of these names are something else. This must be a nice lady. Let me see. I have been getting a lot of UTIs. I've already read this one before, and then she's got the PCOS, where she's popping a lot of cysts on the kidneys or ovaries. It doesn't matter. It's a polycystic syndromes. They got all these new names or things, but really, when your lymph system's backed up, you're going to pop tumors or cysts all through you, even when you don't even know you're doing it. This is part of the problem with all of us. We can have tumors or cysts or polyps growing in us, and we don't even know it because it's all about the lymph. And remember, you're fighting kidneys, and that's the lymph system. And there's nothing good. Remember, most cancers are lymphomas, so moving your lymph is very, very important. And especially you from the UK, you've got to get some warmer climates and get this scleroderma out of you. You don't mess around with scleroderma. I'm just telling you, don't mess around. Get it out of you. And the ulcerative colitis, same thing. You're going to get that lymph moving and get that ulceration healed up, because it's just going to keep burning from the inside out. When you get ulcerations in the colon and things, it's really burning you from these acids from inside the wall out, not on the wall. It's coming from inside, which is where all the cancers come from. So you want to take care of that and get yourself back into a good state of happiness there. This is from NEROLI 528. Hi, Dr. Morse. Could you please give your expertise on detoxing the brain body from exposure to a natural gas? Now, I've already talked about that one too. Some of these are replicas and all this. Again, the natural gas is neurotoxin. So it can really shut down the autonomic nervous system, even the central nervous system. And again, detox is the golden key, because how else do you get these neurotoxins out of the body? Neurotoxins are kind of like sulfur. They don't want to go, but you want to keep detoxing that body. Fruits, berries, and melons, especially because neurological problems can come out of this one. This is Leach Simrak. Dr. Morris, I plan on doing a fruit fast of apples pretty soon for my genetic retina condition where cone cells are missing. Yeah, I read this one too, where your cone cells are missing. So, again, get yourself way up there on a raw food diet, because remember I told you about the spinal bifida case we had where she was born without L4 and L5. Remember L4 and L5, the lumbar vertebrae, are the kidney vertebrae. She was born without them. 3 years on a raw food diet, this lady has L4 and L5 in her spine now. So we talked before about the genetic blueprint God has of the human body. Get those magnetics up there. Get that energy, that consciousness up there, and the cells will replicate themselves at a higher order. We're used to replicating cells off of dead animal meat, off of cooked foods. Those magnetics are low. Cells, when you start eating raw foods, the cells of the body is like wakening up from sleep, because they've been used to low magnetic energy, and now you're insulting the body with high powerful energy and chemistry, and everybody's waking up. So keep doing that and get deeper into that, and you can regenerate the rods and cones of the eye. And this is true with retinas, and this is true with any brain tissue, any nerve tissue, any liver tissue, any heart tissue, ovarian tissue, prostate tissue, doesn't matter. It's all just a bunch of cells and two major fluids. Just keep that in mind. So Tina, your husband, simple. Detox, 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 my friend. We have husbands and wives, and each one of them this one gentleman from Canada was telling his wife, well, you always detox is always the answer to you. And it's like, yeah, because it is the golden key. This is from Green Helper 7. Dr. Morris, when we have glandulars in our protocol, is there use? I've already addressed this one. Your use is always temporary with glandulars. As a matter of fact, it should be temporary with herbs. I let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food, a famous Hippocratean slogan. But we have very inferior foods here in this country. The foods in this country suck. So you really, when you go to south of France, you go to Spain, you go to Trinidad, you go to all these places, you've got some awful good food. And so in this country, the farmers, we need to learn how to keep the soil nutritious instead of depleting it, getting rid of all these chemicals. And about, I'd say, 1,000 yards of some Wisconsin black soil would do us some good. And start growing properly and pick more ripe. I know it creates more of a problem to stores, but stores, we have to start supplying riper fruit. You can't supply this green dead fruit and expect people to always be happy with that. This is Organic Superman again, Dr. Morris or anyone else. Have you ever seen a case of someone allergic to celery? Yeah, some of these are repetitive. I've already answered some of these. This is Organic Superman again. Thanks for the response to my toenail fungus question, Dr. Morris. Glad to have found your channel. Thanks, Organic Superman. What are the best ways to move the lymph? I have a raw food diet and drink raw organic juices daily. Green juices are my favorite. Well, again, going back to fruits, berries, and melons, more powerful at moving lymph than vegetables. And then, of course, think about the kidneys and adrenal glands. The adrenal glands sit on top of the kidney. They're the gland that controls the kidneys, plus a whole bunch of other things. Remember, the autonomic nervous system, all your steroids. But get those adrenals to get the kidneys to start filtering. Remember the sediment in the urine. And then, boom, remember the lady just finally seeing sediment in her urine, so she's really starting to get her lymph moving now. If you're fighting tumors in the breast or anywhere else, they're not going to go away until you get those kidneys filtering. Without kidney filtration, you're done. That's it. You're treating yourself with steroids or anti-inflammatories or whatever you're doing. You've got to move lymph. You've got to start filtering these acids through these kidneys, or you lose the lower back, you get the sciatica, it just goes on and on and on, all the way to the sclerodermas, all the way to the cancers, all the way to the neurological conditions. Acids take no mercy. Remember, acids are the malcorrosive side of chemistry. Base chemistry is the healing side. A balance of pH, very important. I also went over this one. This is cool. This is fingertips, dry fingertips. Be careful with what you wash your hands with, you ladies, and all the lotions. If you can't eat the lotion you're washing your hands with, throw it away. If you can't eat the makeup you're putting on your skin, throw it away, because you are eating it. And you want to make sure this chemistry doesn't damage cells, because the buck stops at the cells of the human body. Remember that. Fluids are just controlling the health of the cells. The blood and lymph, blood just feeds them, remember that, and lymph just cleans them. Everybody else is a cell. So the health of your cells is everything to the functionability of your human body. At every level it is. And those two fluids are responsible for the health of those cells. That's how simple this is. And blood is rarely the problem. Lymph is where most of the problem is, because it deals with the acid side of chemistry. It's a sewer department. Sewage always is the problem. Let me see. All right. I was going to see that. I saw this Alicia West, 11. What about no menstrual cycles on raw diets? Been over 5 years or me, and think I should have cycles, right? Clean eating does not mean no more cycles, correct? What formula would kick my cycles back in? Well, I feel, and I've seen a lot of fruitarian women high up on raw food diets, when they have their menses, they just spot. But there is some spotting. I have heard raw foodists and their menses go away. I don't know. I have to tell you that would probably be a pituitary weakness. And when you kick your endocrine glands up a little bit, you might see your periods coming back. And that would be probably a good thing. I don't know. I mean, what we understand about monthly cycles isn't always true. Remember, the more toxic a woman is lymphatically, the more bleeding she'll have, the more odorous. When she's producing too much estrogen, then she'll bleed too much too. Well, estrogen is the acid side of chemistry, and this is why she can burn from that and get hurt from that. But with that said, I would do this. I would try the endocrine gland formula. The female reproductive formula, you might try that, some pituitary herbs in there, and see if you can inspire your menses back again. If not, I just probably wouldn't worry about it, just live my life in a healthy way. But make sure your thyroid, your pituitary, all your glands are in a healthy state to determine that. I think it's healthy for a woman to have some menses. Clean uteruses is going to yield very minimal menses, which is just what you want. And you want to have a clean uterus because that's the house. But that also must reflect a clean body, because mamas that are going to have babies want to breastfeed, but you want to breastfeed with quality breast milk. And if you have a high acidic toxic body, your milk's going to be acidic. And you'll notice a lot of these infants aren't handling this acidic breast milk. They're upchucking like they're doing on these crappy formulas. And so we're having so many compromised genetics now in the babies with hepatic or liver, gallbladder. They're not handling these high-fat, high-protein formulas. We've showed you many cases. Some of them have died. Remember little Trevor, where they tied his stomach around his esophagus because he kept throwing up on formulas? Don't change the formulas. Don't look at the chemistry you're giving him. Simply tie his stomach around his esophagus and give him Botox treatments in the hiney for pooping. That medical doctor should have marched himself to jail and not passed go and not collected $200 and said, no, I won't kill any more babies because I was really stupid. I mean, that was horrible. The poor mother suffering like that, and then the state had to blame her for it. This is typical medical madness right there. And this poor infant, I noticed that we had him only for a week, and when we put him on the fruit, this little baby excelled. Ugh. It's just extreme ignorance about chemistry and and nutrition. And I hate it when modalities think they know everything and they don't know anything about it. You know, if you're a plumber, don't ask a plumber a carpenter question. Don't ask a plumber a question about air conditioning. Don't ask a medical doctor a question about health. They're not in the field. People think they're in the healthcare field. They're not. They're in sick care. Their job is to get you in emergencies and help you stabilize you. Our field is about building health and regenerating cells in the human body. This is why they don't know anything about our field, and some of us don't know much about theirs. We do because we spent time in the medical field. What's your take on root canals? I have two, no problems with them, but need another one done under a crown. Cavity under. Better to pull teeth, what to put in place of a tooth. I'm going to say this to you. As a man that has a love-hate syndrome with dentists, I would say that I would have a root canal before I would lose my tooth, but I would have calcium put in the root canal. What the problem was is that dentists in America were using this substance that kills cells. And they were doing that to keep infections away, but the problem, it killed the tooth and create more infections. And so it's all about the packing substance. It's all about the packing substance. And that just needs to be a calcium citrate or some type of calcium that has a base chemistry effect and basically just locks it in. You still are feeding. You know, everything's a cell in the mouth, and the teeth are the cells of the human body. When you go pulling teeth, then you got to replace them. And that's not fun either. You're either going to put a rod in there and have a implant. It just gets into things, and it's nice to have teeth. That's all I can tell you. When you ask older people that don't have any teeth, we have a lot of older people that can't chew salads. Believe me, when you lose the teeth, you can't chew. It becomes somewhat of some compromise there, so you have to handle that. I would not have my teeth pulled. I've had many root canals, and we use a calcium substance. But need another one under a crown. Well, if you're going to use crowns, you're going to use things that are not metals. You don't want any metal crowns. You want metals out of the mouth. So do composites, porcelain types, and stuff like that. I know in a holistic dentistry, they'd as soon pull all the teeth out and all that. And I'm telling you, it's nice to have teeth. When you don't have teeth, then chewing is a big problem. So you think lettuce is tough now, try chewing lettuce without teeth. Not good. This is Mother Nature Heals. Dr. Morris, thank you for all you are offering to those. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate that. The videos are I hope these videos are helpful to you. Sometimes I get a little radical, I know, but sometimes it's just discouraging after 40 years of this. And then I look at some of the old greats that have been, lifetimes and putting in a lot of work to help humanity. And then what we have is a bunch of narcissistic son-of-a-guns who think they're above everybody and that their modality is the one and no one knows nothing about health. What a lie. What a brainwashing to the American people, to the world people. It's sad. So we the people around the world must stand up and claim our God rights to be happy, to love each other, drop this hatred of each other, and let's be happy. Let's get our health back. Let's turn this planet to a utopia where everybody has happiness and can make a living and that sort of thing. It's doable. Now, I don't know. You got a lot of levels to this planet in consciousness. I've never seen so many varied states of consciousness. But what's your input? Let me see. Wondering how I can send you an image of my eyes for your input. I have heavy sulfur and I'm wondering what you would recommend. Well, you've got to email them to Chris, and then Chris takes them off on photocopy and blah, 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 blah. But Chris is the one you need to talk to, dear one. Mother Nature Heals. Appreciate that. This is Stage Bandit. Hello, Dr. Morris. I looked at the breakdown of proteins in the stomach with hydrochloric acid, peptides, and then amino acids. Absolutely. However, amino acids by themselves are good for you. I can't find anything wrong with this. Can you tell me where in the process of high-protein diets are we destroying ourselves? Acids. It's all acid, all nitrogen. Nothing wrong with amino acids, but they are acids. And so, too many and out of balance, absolutely. But it's not just that. It's all the phosphorus and all the other elements that come packed with them. It's a whole structure of protein. Highly acidic, high nitrogen. Our bodies aren't those high nitrogen, high acidic bodies. It's totally the opposite kind of chemistry, and most of those ratios are way out of balance with all the ratios of fruits and vegetables. The ratio of proteins to fats to sugars, or I'll say amino acids to fatty acids to sugars, in fruits and vegetables are the same ratio that fits in harmony with the air we breathe. When we start getting out of that, we're getting into concentrated chemistry like in your dormant beans and grains. You start getting into tissue, eating tissue itself, which is a byproduct of eating good foods. You're way on the wrong end of chemistry. It isn't just about amino acids. You're on the wrong side of chemistry. You're on the wrong side of phosphorus. You're on the wrong side of iron. You're on the wrong side. You're packing up the acid side, and you're losing the electrolyte side. That's what's wrong with that stage, bandit. Can't do it. Bad news. Keep eating it if you want, but bad news. Bad news. You see this. Even the medical doctors admit acidosis and ketosis with high protein diets. Even they admit that. Thanks, Melissa. I love you, Melissa, too, honey. Thank you. Here's a big hug to you, too. Thank you so much. You have a fun day. You all have a fun day out there. I'm going to cut off here in a minute, and so he can get this up. This is Anna Maria 2979. Dr. Morse, I would immensely appreciate if you could address on how retina disclosure can be healed on a male, 39 years old, had a successful surgery when he was 8 years old. But 2 years ago, he started to be in trouble, pain on the left eye, left part of the head, and now a membrane started to develop and covering the left eye. Now, here's the thing. You see, even in surgery, we're not addressing the causative factors, and this is the problem. We're not addressing causative factors. And if you want to address causative factors, then you're going to have a remedy. So this poor lad did not address his lymph system at all, and the same acids now are breaking down his brain tissue, and now his eyes are deteriorating, and the body's building a film over it to protect itself. Way too acidic. So the body's in a protective mode, and this isn't good. I definitely use the eye wash to hopefully stop this in terms of the membrane, but you could do it, wash your eyes with it twice a day at least, get a little eye cup, easy to wash the eyes, take it internally, but move those lymphs, clean the trunk, clean the embryonic trunk, the GI tract here. Get that kidneys and adrenals filtering. Upper circulation, new brain and nerve, definitely on the menu for this one. And really get more blood flowing, lymph moving, get these acids out of here, because this is another case for someone who took treatment but didn't address the cause. And that's why it's so important. And there isn't anybody out there that can't understand that philosophy. If you treat the symptom, the cause is still there, creating more problems. Everyone can understand that. It is impactive, it is simplistic, and it's on point. And or you're gonna lose that eye. The medical doctor said the eye is dead, and most probably it has to be removed. Oh, I need a drink. Too bad you're not Long Island iced tea, although I can't handle alcohol, so I don't drink anything like that. The medical doctor, now let's see if we can get that baby alive again, right? It's front and center. But again, he didn't address causative factor. He didn't know to. It was his doctor's responsibility to tell him, but the doctor didn't know. That's the problem with allopathy. All I want out of allopathy to admit the truth, stand down, and let us come and heal a bunch of people without this kind of crap that you guys put out there. He has incredible head pains. Doctor said he has a bleeding, but I can't really explain. If he's bleeding, get the bleeding formula. The bleeding formula here is a homeostatic. It'll stop bleeding. At the same time, aggressively move lymph. Get up on a fruit, berry, and melon diet. Now, the fruit, berry, and melon diet, not only in this case is for lymph, flavonoids. We need a lot of flavonoids. That'll get up there and heal this vascular capillaries, the rods and cones, flavonoids. That probably wouldn't hurt to use the bones formula in this case as well, because of the high impact that comfrey has in healing tissue. Very powerful. At the same time, you got to move these acids out, or you're going to continue to deteriorate or break down the eye tissue. So you really want to move that lymph and get that lymph moving, because this is in the head. This is the brain. You could have brain lesions now. Who knows? We got to stop all this. This guy's only 39 years old, for God's sake. So get that eye wash going. Get all this going yesterday. Really important, Anna Maria 2979. Really explain that to myself, as things could turn really serious. Things already are serious, dear. Things are already serious. This guy's in serious trouble. Not just from the eye perspective, but from the brain perspective. Got to move lymph yesterday. Or maybe the body found a way to cope with it. The way to, well, I'll say that, and the coping is the covering of the eye. Like the doc said, the eye's probably dying or dead, and but we'll get her back if we can. Upper circ, brain and nerve. They don't have the goodies we have. High fruit, berry, and melon diet, big time. Get up those bowels cleaned up. You got to clean the trunk. Got to get the kidneys and the adrenals up and moving. Very serious issue here. Or maybe, let's see, do you think with the help of lymph, herbs, upper circ, brain and nerve, you're right on. Right on, dear. Bleeding, eye wash. Boy, are you good. You guys are so good. You're so good. Absolutely. Boy, now this individual has really picked this up. This human will be able to see again. Well, we're certainly going to give it our best. I also have a formula called Visioplex. Now, there is a lot of vitamins and minerals, but it has raw eye tissue. That might be a factor in helping. This is where a glandular might come in and inspire those eye cells to wake up. So, might try that one on top of that one. Well, when you're faced with losing your eye, brain lesions, and cancers, honk on. Please explain what protocol would you give us where you're going down that line. If it was me, I would be lymphatic 1 capsules three times a day. I would do stomach and bowel capsules for sure. I do kidney 1 capsules or liquid, kidney 2. Make sure I get my sediment going. I do a glandular 160, adrenal 160. Pop up my adrenals. Upper circ, you hit it right on the head and head. Upper circ, brain and nerve, bleeding, eye wash. You guys are good. And go after this, and we will save this guy's eye. I prefer referring people to you in your videos for a better and accurate understanding. Well, you're doing a pretty good job yourself, dear. You nailed it right on the head. What does this in the private area means? Fungus. Don't worry about the embarrassing question, my dear. This is a common question, a common problem. Like a jock itch, toenail fungus. I mean, we're all full of fungus. Don't be ashamed of that. Move those lymphs. Get your kidneys and adrenals up in line. You can use Parasite M to kill the fungus. At the same time, remember, this is about the lymph and about adrenals and improper sugar metabolism, fermentation. Stay away from the grains, blah, 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 blah. Detox the body out, and that all will go away. You can use a topical antifungal cream, but this is an internal problem, and you won't get rid of it with creams, but you will if you go inside and clean it out. Is it true you can overdose on potassium from too many bananas? I've never done that. I don't know of anybody that ever done that. I've never seen a primate do that. I know there's a lot of people that probably eat a lot of bananas, but I don't know how you could have more than 6 or more at a setting. I'm stupid. Now, I remember you. So I don't think so, because it has all the other chemistry in there. But when the body's in a healthy state, chemistry that's not used is excreted or stored and converted by the liver. Remember, the liver is a major someone asked me about liver and spleen. I'll give you more of a dissertation on anatomy later on. But the liver is just simply a major chemical transmutation factory. Everybody calls the liver a detoxifying organ. I don't see too much of that. Detoxifying means cleaning to the outside world. Liver does transmutate chemistry, though. In a way, you could call that a little detoxifying. But it moves, sugars into glycogen and glycogen into sugars. It transmutates all kinds of things. Silicon to calcium. It can do all kinds of things. I mean, gosh, just pick up an A&P book and read on the liver. And we still don't know half of it. We still don't know. Some of the latest research claims that amino acids can be created by the liver from sugars. I don't know. I mean, all I know is God made a pretty good organ there. That baby's really incredible. Remember I told you it takes 500 acres of land to build a chemical manufacturing plant would match the amount of functions the liver performs? It's unreal. So it's just major moving chemistry and augmenting and changing and adapting chemistry to the needs of the human body. I mean, the body's a very aware chemical manufacturing plant in every sense of the word, from steroids, hormones, neurotransmitters to the liver to it's all. The spleen is simply an organ that is both a blood and lymph organ. Of course it is, because blood has to clean itself somewhere, and of course the spleen is an excellent place for the blood to refurbish itself into the lymph system. That's a good way to refurbish the red blood cells, is what the spleen does. Works with the platelets that makes the blood clot nicely for you. Spleen is a great organ, but it is a detoxifying organ. If there was one, it would be more detoxifying to the blood than the liver. My reflection. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I love that. Hi, Dr. Morse. Thank you for your videos. I have been about 70-80% raw. Good job. Since February, but since I have been viewing your videos, I have stepped up my game by doing fruitarian. Superbulous job, my man. This is my 8th day. Wow, wow, wow. And I have been having fantastic results. Good job. Good job. I have been eating melons, grapes, oranges, berries, and bananas. Oh, that's a great diet. I mean, that's a very nutritious diet. I have been moving a lot of lymph and have only had 2 days of detox symptoms. Pretty good. Where my energy was a little off. That's your adrenals, of course. For those 2 days, I wasn't moving my bowels, and when I finally did, I had a hemorrhoid issue come back on me and has been with me since. Yeah, you might see that with raw, and it could get real bad, but they'll end up sucking away. You could use the Bones formula, lower circulation, anything like that, to start strengthening the wall. Make sure your parathyroid is in shape. That's utilization of calcium. I was wanting to know if there's a way to fully detox myself of this problem. Well, make sure you're on a bowel formula that allows your bowels to move smoothly and easy, but not too much. You want proper digestion time, you want proper absorption time, and then you want to eliminate the rest. So you don't want to push your foods too fast. Sorry, Richard Schultz, don't believe in liquid peanut butter being my stool consistency. Just so you know, I have done 2 rounds of water fasting, a 5-day and a 6-day. Boy, you're kicking butt. Experienced amazing results both times. I am building back up to do another one in June. Well, you're doing really good, my reflection. You're doing good. Proud of you. Good job. Keep it up. And this is S-U-P-A-H. Freak. Something like that. Hi, Dr. Morris. So I'm a new subscriber. Welcome to the channel, my friend. And just found your channel because Dan was talking about you. That Dan McDonald. You guys enjoy him at the class? I'm wondering if you've ever talked about chronic fatigue syndrome on this channel. Absolutely. I had a cancer a few years ago, and because very tired and weak as a result, I'm seeing a specialist now, a bit better, but do you have any recommendations for me? Any help would be greatly appreciated. Well, let's look at this. I had cancer a few years ago and became very tired and weak as a result. I'm going to turn that statement backwards. The reason you're tired and fatigued is why you had the cancer. And that goes, even though you didn't feel it this is reality. And the reality is the adrenal glands are always involved. I was doing a radio show here, did them for years, and I was talking about, and this just was coincidence, but I was talking about the adrenal glands, the kidney connection, and cancer, about the lymph system. Well, after my show, which was an hour show, they had found another show on breast cancer, and they had this older medical doctor talking to a group of women about breast cancer. And most of his crap was just crap. And one lady was raising, you could tell by it was talk radio, but that she was asking a question. And the medical doctor says, yes, what's your question? She says, well, I heard that the adrenal glands plays a role in cancer, and there's a connection there. Now, she didn't hear it from my talk on the radio because this was an already recorded show, but somewhere, either our work for years or whatever, because we've been around a long time, we've been worldwide, so we've been promoting the understanding of the kidneys and the adrenals. And this medical doctor says, well, you know, I've heard like in Europe they've been thinking about the adrenal glands, and you know, we here in America, we don't hold any value to that at all. And I thought, how interesting. So here's a group of women that was getting some bad information, poor things. But this lady was right on in her research. She was discovering that the adrenal glands are a big part of the controlling mechanism of the kidneys, which control the body's lymphatic system, which is in the presence of all cancers. You always have lymph stagnation in the presence of cancer because cancer is simply a damaged cell by acids. That's it. It mutates the cell, and you can get into genes and all that crap, but it's all ridiculous because that's a no road to nowhere. It'll bring you right back to the start again. Just like this gentleman, go right back to the start again. And it's going back, you've got to fix your problem. That's your adrenal glands. Get your kidney and adrenal glands in line, get them filtering, my man, and fix the reason why you had this cancer, whichever one it was. It's always lymph. Even blood leukemias are very common to be lymphatically created. And that's a part of the chronic fatigue is the adrenals. They blame chronic fatigue on virals like Epstein-Barr and this kind of crap. Easy to clean virals out of the body. But the adrenals, that's your autonomic nervous system. And that is your epinephrines, your adrenalines, your epinephrines, norepinephrines. So when your adrenals are down, you're always fatigued. Well, you would be, especially off of meat, which has full of neurotransmitters. When you're on meat, you're really moving. That's the problem. This is the other bad thing about the protein called meat. It's full of neurotransmitters. Well, the same thing happens to your adrenal medulla that happens to the cortex. When you're taking steroids, you lose your adrenals, and the same thing eating meat full of epinephrine, you lose your adrenals, and then when you don't have it, you feel like you're really tired, and the fruits and vegetables must not be giving me any nutrition or energy because I'm really tired. No, that's not the case. It is all about the adrenal glands and neurotransmitters. It's a neurological fatigue. And that's, you just have to rectify the adrenals. You can use glandulars or herbs, but get your kidneys and move your lymph because you're a post-cancer case and really want to fix your body up there. So definitely appreciate your welcome aboard here. Thanks for the post, and get your health together on yourself there. Listen to the recommendations of protocols here because I use about the same protocol on everybody. Oh my God, did I give you a clue on one of the questions? Hi, Dr. Morris. Love all your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope so. Never get old. Thanks. Appreciate that. Even though I sound like a broken record, I appreciate it. Thank you, Nuclear. I haven't talked to you in a while. I have huge tonsils in my throat for about 15 years. Right now, I'm 30 years old. Well, you know, hypertrophy, swelling is called hypertrophy, swelling. That's your lymph. Get your lymph moving. Fix up the trunk here. Remember all the lymphatic 1 capsules, stomach and bowel capsules, GI brew. Fix this trunk, get the kidneys and adrenals. You'll start moving those out. The tonsils will unswell, just like prostates, congestive heart failures, and everything else, same type of thing. Yeah, I think I've addressed this before. Right now, oh yeah, you're on 17 herbs. You don't have to take that many herbs, my God, but your tonsils have no way but to go down with that many. I've got to draw this to a close here, but I really want to thank all of you. Here's Spam Ann. Hi, Dr. Morris. Hi, Annie. Thanks for your previous replies. Really cool that you're doing this. Thank you so much, sweetheart. It's cool that you're listening. I appreciate all of you. Yourself there. I have a question. Did you ever hear about hydrogen peroxide treatment? We use it here a little bit. I have a gallon sitting in the refrigerator, and I just, you know what, I'm real cautious with that because of the burn of that. I teach people to deep breathe, clean the lungs, get oxygenated that way. I prefer a hyperbaric chamber over a hydrogen peroxide therapy, but yes, we have used it here. But we use the bicarbonates. I mean, we used a lot of things. But there's nothing works any better than right to point, right on point. Get the kidneys filtering through getting the adrenal glands up, start pulling on that lymph system, clean up the gut, and boy, you're assured to get yourself well. Just a matter of time there. So, sorry about I just don't have enough time to finish up, but we're pretty close to getting caught up here. So, thank you so much. You all are just great souls. It's always a humbling pleasure to address and be with you. And I, again, appreciate you in the class. That was a lot of fun. We always have fun in our classes, I think. Of course, I'm a little prejudiced, but I hope to see a lot of you in September. We've opened up September as a date to have another class, but I think our January class will be level 2. We just have to get you guys more savvy on these protocols and spending more time in clinical practice. So our level 2 will be like you're practicing clinically. We're going to get a little more in depth there. All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go to lunch, have me a big salad, and off to the afternoon. See you later. Love you all. Namaste. Have a fun day. Bye-bye. That was a quick. I'm gone. Before I close on this one, though, I would just had setting this up here, and I just pull it to look at it. I love this one. The Moo 1231. Let me see. That's 3, 6, 7. Yep. Good cycle there. Hello. It is true. Is it true that eating fruit depresses the immune system? There is a study. Oh my God, there's a study out. Oh my God. Neutrophilic phagocytosis study, which shows that sugar and starch dramatically damages the white blood cells, including eating fructose. Interesting, isn't it? Well, I don't think we would have a primate family. I don't think we would have half the humans on the planet if that was true. That's another real stupid study that all the people involved must have had their heads up their ass so far they couldn't see the light of day. That's ridiculous. But then there's a theory that white blood cells really shouldn't be there at all. There's that theory too. There's a lot of theories out there. And that the white blood cells show pathology. How interesting is that, huh? So, I mean, there's all kinds of studies. Which one would you believe? If anybody believes that kind of crap, they're full of crap. That is just so untrue, it's not even funny. Oh, half of you wouldn't be getting better. You'd all be dead. Fruits are destroying your white blood cells. Oh, would we see that in the blood work? Oh my God, all the white blood cells would be dead. That study was stupid. There's nothing there. You'd have to read the study to see how stupid this study is. Oh my God, here's the website. I'm not even waste my friggin' time. You wouldn't waste your time on thinking like this. That's crazy. That's insane, to be honest with you. That isn't logical. Look around. You know, it's not. I've done blood work for 40 years. I used to rip chemistry apart. Never saw a stupid thing. Those people are just stupid people. I'm sorry. That study should have been burnt in a trash can. Oh my God, fruit destroys the white blood cells. Well, if they saw that in study, then it would go a long way to saying white blood cells shouldn't be there at all. Really? Maybe they shouldn't be. Maybe we don't have an ounce of understanding of the real truth. Maybe what we know isn't really truth at all. Maybe we can't even talk about anything here but just eat your foods and live your life. You see what I'm saying? This is just crazy. I'm ready. I'm closing it up. This just is more aggravating because of extreme stupidity and misinformation than anything else. Not on you, the Moo, but on this study. You don't let these studies soak in because you'll lose your sanity because of this. I agree with most of what it says about cholesterol. That it's a myth. It has no correlation with heart disease, inflammation, and oxidation does. Well, from what I'm seeing here is this study is ridiculous in all points. Cholesterol is well known to be the body's main antacid and is used primarily for that purpose. Look at the steroids that have a pathway through cholesterol. They're all used as antacids, anti-inflammatories. Oxidation, yeah, a natural process. Ionization, yeah, a natural process. But I'm saying that all this is theories, and so these guys don't go along with that. We do find plaque lipids. You'll find them growing on the eye. You'll find them in tumors. You will find plaque lipids. Why? And again, going back to acidosis. Based on these studies, any person who eats largely carbohydrate-based meals, particularly those containing sugars and snacks with carbohydrate-based meals spread throughout the day, as the latest advice suggests we should, could lose up to half their immunity to disease for much of the walking day. You know what? I'm not even going to finish reading this, Moo, because it'll just piss me off because of the stupidity, and I hope the hell you did not buy into that. These people are amongst the crawlers on the ground, as far as I'm concerned. Sorry about that, but I just had to turn this back on and address this because I tell you what, these people, when they get their cancers, just get all their names, and all of you guys remember the names, so when they get cancer, if they come to you, say, sorry, can't help you. It takes a fruit diet, and of course that's going to destroy your immunity. What do we see with fruits? Nothing but cure, cure, cure. How many cancer people have come to this clinic trying to our health programs and have eliminated their cancers on these health programs? Can't even count them. Didn't lose their immunity because of that, did they? You have to understand, crap like this is just what it is. It's just crap. So you guys have a nice day. Don't buy the crap. Have fun. You create your own awareness out there. You create the truth. This is why I need your help. All of you guys have dispelled this in the last year. Hands down. Crap. See ya.